I finally built Hiyuki. Man, she was actually very much of a hype unit in Wuthering's community, not just because of she is leveled as a 2nd anniversary unit, just because of her appearance. Yes, you cannot even see her face very much of a well perfectly in my graphic settings. Of course, I am not even have that much of a good graphics. That's why I just use Optics color and also so many other game tweaks to make this game smoother. But if you already seen her from the game poster and also other things, you might be seeing her very much of a similar face from the other games, which is a PGR's Alpha. Yes, you already know that why the Alpha was stands for. Alpha was very much of a commonly known for as a Virgil daughter, because she does have kind of like a very much of a similar attack style from the Virgil from the DMC reference. So having the similar between the faces and also similar between the appearance, which is a katana holder. Hiyuki is also katana holder. Wuthering West community were assuming that these characters are going to be very much of a similar towards the Alpha, and also we are going to have our hack and slash types of characters. So they were very much of a hype. Even the hype was more than that the Zane was creating in their first anniversary. Now, Wuthering already gave us first hint, which was kind of like an Xbox trailer. Of course, this game does not even release in Xbox, but in this version, which is a 2nd anniversary, they were tend to release this game for the Xbox version. And in this Xbox version trailer, they were kind of like give us a sneak peek of their final ultimate animation into the trailer. And I already reacted into this video and totally giving my claim as a mid animation. Why am I saying this? Let me be clarified. First of all, the animation that she totally building her right now, as you can see that this is the final animation. This animation does not even have that much of an impact what the Amath does have, that because in her Amath animation you can see that on her final attack she just totally deploy a huge amount of big juggernaut of a robot, and that robot is slashing through the grounds with a big giant sword. That was actually cool and also looks so much distracted. But for the Hiyuki's case, her ultimate, or you can say the final ultimate animation, looks so calm. That's not even that much of a destructive. So for that reason, I just totally give my opinion as a mid animation for her case, and people are kind of like giving me a bad comments. And I already mentioned so many times, this like any other gacha games, and also this community is also full of like a fallen Genshin players. When it comes to taking a criticism, they cannot even take it, just like the Genshin impacts. Anyway, the thing about that, I was kind of like skeptical, and when they just released the full gameplay before the leakers, that was the thing Puro has been doing for a long times. That time I give my full reaction, and before the giving my full reaction in the Xbox trailer, I also give my comments. The amount of like a animation that she has been building up before the deploying her final ultimate animation, which I already show you, there might be so many things. So that could be like a very much of a potentially sick animation. That's the thing I totally mentioned. But people, when they hearts from some other people's to say anything bad about or anything like a criticize comments about the Wuthering, they cannot even take it. So just totally making their claims and also bashing me back and forth. Anyway, that's not the main thing. But when I saw and give my full reaction of our full gameplay, I was totally tempted, because as you can see that there's not much of an enemy. Of course, yes, there is kind of like a thing that I'm going to show you, is that when I just deploy her ultimate, she's going to into a icy stage, and in this icy stage you might be seeing that there's kind of like a charge shot, and this kind of charge shot I was totally sold on it. And there was another enhanced attack where she's going to give us a all around types of like a AoE forced burn types of towards the enemy. So that's the thing which totally blew my mind, and I was totally sold on her. Why am I very much skeptical about her? The thing about it is that PGR already have a 3 or 4 types of alpha version, and all those alpha version are damn man very much of a fine on their own. Especially we do have like a first version, which is the base version of alpha physical version. That time you can see that so many sword wave are going through around. If you are not even from PGR player, you cannot even understand what I'm trying to say here. That time it was the peak animation. After the 2nd gen, where we get a alpha electric version, that time it is totally changed. She just rides a motorbike, gives us a kind of like a obliterate types of animation, and people were known the game for the alpha 2nd gen, not the 1st gen. 1st gen was kind of like a starting point, 2nd gen was the main thing. Of course, this is not a PGR video, I'm not going to talk anything more than that. So I was seeing that much of a distraction and that much of a high quality animation in PGR, and seeing this kind of like a final attack animation on the Xbox trailer kind of like a mind boggling to me. But this is an open world game, and they are trying to create another types of version for themselves. If they try to take all the things from the previous game, so what's the difference of making a new game? You know what I'm trying to say here. So there's a mixed reaction for me, but after seeing her full gameplay and also playing her by myself into this current endgame mode, I was totally sold about her, and also invested investing on her was the best choice that I have ever done in this Wuthering. Anyway, the thing about this video is going to be, I'm going to showcase you for this current endgame meta and see that how does she even perform. Of course, she's going to perform well. She's our new meta top tier DPS character, and she's going to be relevant much longer compared to if I just give you a brief history of the Wuthering has been doing on, especially for the first anniversary, which is the Zani. She is even still to this day most relevant character compared to the other top tier characters, just like the Karzetia and also the Agosta, and also our new, or you can say the recent Sentinel character, which is the Amath. And most of the people are already claim that Zani is not even that of a good. You have to have a high investment. Of course, if you don't even have the high investment on her, she is not going to be the perform. But if you do have her high investment, of course, she is going to give you a huge amount of value even to this day, even year after old character. I already make a video, and this video is actually doing pretty much well. If you haven't even seen it, you can even see it on my channel. Anyway, let's move on to her team selection. The team that I'm currently using, which is consist of a Hiyuki, Lina, and also the Chisa. Of course, if you do have a Amath team, which is also consist of a Lina and also Morning, this is kind of like a skeptical thing to do, that you cannot even use both two teams at the same time, because you have to use the Lina on the Hiyuki team, and you have to get another character for the Amath team as well as, and that another character is none other than our Dania, which is a recent fusion character. She can even play it as a tune stun mode and also as a fusion burst mode. So if you do have a Luke Harsin, which is a tune stun character, you can even use Dania on that part. And also if you do have a Amath, don't even have a Luke Harsin, you can also play her as a sub DPS, or you can set the support for your Amath as a fusion burst DPS character, because Amath, most of the damage comes from her main of a ultimate damage. Okay, the thing about this team is, it is the current best teams for our Hiyuki, because there is going to be another Glacier character. If you already seen the story, I cannot even recall her name. She's going to be another like a dedicated support for our Hiyuki from the next version. So if you do have the huge amount to pull, don't even pull for the Dania, then I guess you should totally wait for it and pull for the new next characters. The team is totally considered pretty much of a good thing. The Lina can give you all types of damage buff, and also Chisa can give you all types of damage buff as well as in team damage bonus. But the restriction is lies here that Chisa really required her signature weapon to do that, and that signature weapon can totally give you a 24% team's damage bonus, which is actually huge. And that's why Chisa was kind of like a very much of a wasted potential until the Hiyuki release. Even to this day, if you don't even have a Hiyuki on your team, Chisa is still considered as the most wasted potential that the Wuthering has ever done. And being her releasing a single region, or you can say the part of the region, she was considered as one of those like a top tier character. But after sometimes patches later, there was not even any of those like a negative status character after release her until the Hiyuki banner. So people cannot even find her into any of those like a places. But she does have kind of like a places. Those places are not even considered her best installer places, which is the Karzetia and also kind of like a Zanis. Those things are considered as a flex team support, but most of the cases she does not even hold any of this like a value until the Hiyuki. So this team is the best installer teammate, and I guess if you do have a pulse, and also if you are going to really invest it on her for the future cases, I guess you have to wait for the next upcoming character who is a Glacier character just like the Hiyuki's element, and she is going to be very much of a dedicated for the Hiyuki's to boost her damage. Okay, let's see what's the build that I'm putting for the Hiyuki. So the build is going to be very much of a good crit rate and also 318 crit damage. I have no idea why the crit damage is so high. It was like a 278. I guess after doing her like a showcase that I already gave you, ultimate and also some kind of like a enhanced mode, I guess she can totally increase her crit damage from her kit. I didn't even read her kit fully, so spare me on that part. The weapon that I am currently using, which is the first one, of course her main signature weapon. When it comes to a DPS character and also when it comes to a top tier character, you have to get the signature weapon. You cannot even tolerate into that part, because if you just somehow compromise in that part, your DPS character is going to be very much a fall down to the oblivion. These types of gacha game does have kind of like a provide you a guaranteed weapon system. So if you just somehow pull the weapon banner, you are going to be guaranteed for that particular character signature weapon. And for this reason, they are not even providing you a kind of like event DLC or forester DLC. There is not even very much of a good option for the forester option compared to the Genshin and also other Hover's games. The eco set I'm currently using, which is kind of like a base set, or you can say the new recent set Glacier damage plus bonus. This can give you a pretty much of a sustainable amount of damage for the Hiyukis. And I do have the max out the requirement talents what she really requires, but I have to do the kind of like maxing her out of her resonance skill, which is a E skill. And another than that, I'm totally having a C0R1. Is that the main thing that you should even call in this game? I totally don't know that what kind of things you should even say for the S0 character. Is it a S0R1? My bad. Anyway, the Linai is also going to be E0, the weapon that I'm going to use, which is a standard weapon, not the current one, which is a Lahari version. It is actually old one where you can even have a good amount of crit rate. The echo set that I'm using, which is also going to be giving us a good amount of team damage bonus and also attack damage bonus. The requirement talent are going to be maxing out in that part. And for the Chisa's case, I'm using her signature weapon. Of course, if I don't even have her signature weapon, damn man, she's going to be pretty much of a dog shit. The 24% that I was talking about is the thing that you have to totally remember before just pulling her, because if you really want to pull for her, you cannot even miss her signature weapon. And this 24% is a substantial damage bonus that you can even have her just having that weapon on your team of your Chisa. And for the eco set, then I'm using her kind of like a sub DPS role. Most of the people are going to be say you to use kind of like a rejuvenating glow. This is the thing that can give you a good amount of healing, but in here I don't even need that much of healing. I really need the damage and also going to clear the endgame mode much fast. So for the endgame mode that I'm currently using, which is a Tower of Adversity, of course most of the people are also using this endgame mode to test your character, that are your character is actually well enough to this current meta, or is that have any kind of like a potential or not. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, before starting, I was kind of like a very much of a confused when it comes to playstyle of her, because I really wanted to use her full optimally and also don't want to use her any kind of like a complex way. But when I search on a YouTube, so many guide makers are already give me an instruction, but I didn't even find any of those like a guide to see that how the rotation actually properly works. They just totally give us like a spreadsheet amount of things, and none of them were helping a bit to my understanding. But one guy who actually getting me through the understanding, you can say the brain dead playstyle of this Hiyuki, which is none other than our former content creator from the PGR and also the content creator of the Wuthering as well as Rexland. Yes, this guy was the one who just gave me the simple of a rotation on his video to how the Hiyuki should be played. So if I just give you a brief description, as you can see that on my cursor, she does have kind of like a meter, or you can say the gauge. This is the main thing that you have to understand. And other than that, what your playstyle of a rotation that you should be even start at first, use your Chisa, and when your Chisa is going to be deployed at the field, just do the basic 4 attack and also use her skill. And in that time, if your Chisa does even have her ultimate, you have to use her ultimate right off the bat, and after that you are going to proc her passive, which is the main skill damage. And after that, she is going to enable her chainsaw mode, and in the chainsaw mode all you have to do is just press the normal attack button to the final stages and do the proper rotation after another character going her like an intro buff. When your character is glowing onto the screen, especially Lina and also Hiyuki, you have to change your character to the Lina, and in the Lina version you have to do the normal things, doing her ultimate and also hold her basic attack, hovering around the air and also do her passive attacks, and also doing these kind of things until another character drop off, which is the Hiyuki. And when the Hiyuki drops off, you don't even have to think about filling her this gauge, because in that her passive, when the intro buff, she just totally comes from another character, she can totally have her gauge fill up, and when the fill up is totally done, you can even just have your ultimate. And that is not a ultimate that you are already seeing, which is a judgmental card. This is the ultimate to move on to the foreclaim of a first burn stage. I sorry, my bad if I just cannot even claim her state perfectly. This is kind of like ultimate, or you can say the NNC stage. In those NNC stage, you have to do the E skill 2 times right off the bat when you are just going to enter the enhanced mode. And in this enhanced mode, there is also going to be another kind of like a meter, or you can say the gauge bar, that you are going to see that what I am trying to demonstrate here. So this is the kind of like a playstyle, and in this kind of like a gauge bar, there are kind of like a 3 flower dots that you are going to see that. And in those flower 3 dot, all you have to do, press your normal like a dodge button, and in this dodge button, that's the one time that you are going to press, and after that use your like a normal basic attack like a 3 times. After that, all you have to do is just use your echo skill and also press your, or you can say the ultimate, and you are going to do the judgmental card, what you already seen from the trailer. And what's the thing that you already see so many YouTubers are doing her on her final rotation. Okay, if I just give you a little bit of a demonstration of her gameplay, that you are going to understand pretty much easily. Okay, first of all, switch on over the Chisa and wait for the 4th basic attack, use her skill and also use her ultimate right off the bat. As you can see that her meter gauge are already full, and use her passive attacks and also press her normal basic attack right off the end. And echo set, Lina's skills and also ultimate at the same time. Hold her normal basic attack and also hovering into the air. Echo skill. Wait for another character to drop off. Intro buff, which is the Hiyuki. As you can see that she's also having her gauge field just because of she's totally having her intro here. Skills 2 times. As you can see that on her gauge bar there is kind of like a 3 dot, and this is the things that you have to understand before just playing her. And as you can see that there is also another like enhanced attack that you are going to be deployed when you follow the instruction. And right now I'm going to deploy her main ultimate, which is the Juggernaut card, just like the UMC Virtuous attack. Of course my damage is not even that good, 5R, and the rotation just totally similar to all over again. Chisa's ultimate, and here we go, her passive attacks. Okay, wait for her echoes and also do press her skill from the Lina. Ultimate right off the bat, and here we go. Okay, team break damage to kill this enemy easily. Press her ultimate and also press her skills right off the bat, and wait for her gauge to fill up and also do the normal things. Damn man, she is actually doing a huge amount of damage. Let's see how much damage she puts. 500k. Shit! You seeing that, man? You seeing that? Damn, this is actually a good amount of damage for new characters. And her chainsaw move, man. Do the team break damage. Man, I just totally forgot to use Echo for the Chisa's part. Don't worry, her Echo doesn't even do any kind of like a team-wide damage buff. It only totally helps herself. Hey Hiyuki, come on man. And also deploy her ultimate right off the bat. Press skills. Instant takes. Damn, why did I do that, man? Oh my god, I just totally messed up the skills. Don't worry man, I guess that was kind of like a good clear. And as you can see that on her like another enhanced attack, she just already deal 131k damage. Oof man, her playstyle is actually very much rewarding if you just somehow able to learn it. Anyway, that's all for her showcase, and I hope that you already guys like it, and also you might be even understand what I'm trying to say her on her rotation part. I know that I cannot even give you the perfect rotation example that how she even totally works. Of course English is not even my main language, as I already mentioned in my other so many videos. So if I wasn't a kind of like a native speaker, I would have given you the proper of an explanation. But in future when I am going to be very much of a good at English, I guess I am going to give you the pretty much of a sustainable amount of explanation what you guys really need. Anyway, I hope that you already like it of her rotation. I know that I kind of like a messed up here and there. I really need a lots of practice to make her rotation perfect. If I somehow do that, I guess the time requirement to clear a certain reaches would be much lower than that. And I hope so if you already pull for her, and also if you haven't even pulled for her, thinking about should you even pull for her in the rerunning banner, I guess this video can even going to give you a good much of an explanation. And also I already make a kind of like a previous video that is your Zani, which is our former first anniversary character, is she even going to be good or not. You can even check it out and see that Zani is actually very much of a good character for this current meta or not, being a 1-year-old characters. You can even find the answer that is she even a good or not. But if I just give you a TLDR, of course she's actually a good one, and for the anniversary character they are going to be much more consistent into this current meta, or you can say the upcoming future meta, another like 1 or 2 years. That's how much are powerful when it comes to a certain anniversary character. I hope that you already like this video. If you like it, leave a like, and also if you have any kind of comments regarding her playstyle and also my playstyle, my rotation explanation, you can even totally leave on the comment section. And see you on the next video. Peace. Woohoo!